Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Chefs rate every iconic British dish.
Ooh,
Best to worst. I don't like that. Why
ooh.
are we starting best? Let's start with worst.
I wonder who's going to be the chefs.
Britain,
I know
Britain.
some of these chefs.
Home of pubs, pies, puddings, peas, and pies. Our food might not be the fanciest, tastiest, or even the nicest, but it's ours. Hearty, tasty, and unapologetic.
One of my favorite
Today we're
things to
cooking, tasting, and
watch,
ranking the
especially as I go to sleep.
Cooking
It's the
channel?
cooking channel.
Yeah.
I love
best
it.
and worst dishes from our green and pleasant land, starting with maybe the strangest thing I've ever cooked, stargazy pie.
The story goes
That's
that
the
Tom
best.
Borcock of Mousehole in Cornwall, which is right at the bottom of England, had been a really bad
That's the
storm for
best.
7 days. Tom braved the weather and he caught 7 different types of fish. So traditionally this is made with
gosh.
7 fish in the pie.
That's the
We
best.
poached our fish like you would make a fish pie. A layer of bechamel
A fish
sauce,
pie.
salmon, cod,
Fish pie.
smoked haddock, a layer
Different
of potato,
fish?
a layer of eggs,
7
and then
different
a
fish.
layer of butterflied sardines with the heads
No, I cannot
poking
mix
out the
my
top
fish.
of the pie. I mean, I love Cornish pasties, but we want to kind of shine a light on other different
That's too
regional
much
dishes
fish.
as well. I think this is a really cool one because it celebrates the fish, which is, to be honest, my favourite part about Cornwall and Chef's favourite part about Cornwall. It's been egg washed. We've just protected the
I
little
mean,
sardine heads.
I will give you this. Visually, once he cooks it and takes off the foil off, I think it's gonna look real cool with the fish head sticking out.
There's going to be fish heads sticking
Yes,
out?
the foils. They're
That's the
covering
fish
fish heads.
heads?
Yeah, so the fish heads cooked
Oh.
through.
Oh.
That is gonna be cool. But
That's
the
gonna look
idea
scary
of
a little
7
bit.
fish pie, that is scary.
Wow.
That is scary.
That's
With a little
different
bit of tin
taste.
foil. Going to bake at 160 degrees, 25 to 35 minutes until that pastry lid's cooked. So to carve our stargazy pie, take it out the pie crust.
Whoa.
There we have.
Visually, it looks cool. I've never seen
It's
anything
like the fish
it.
is swimming in it.
Yes, exactly. It looks like a sea and the fish is swimming. I've never seen anything
Wow.
like it.
Yeah, stargazy pie. Crofty, what do you reckon?
Hello, missus.
Bacon, onions, egg, lots of different fish, cheese sauce, and then hard-boiled eggs.
Loki looks kind of good though. I ain't gonna lie.
I think
If it was
everything
one
nice,
fish,
apart
okay,
from
but
the brown,
that many fish
like,
for
apart
me
from the
is a
sardine.
lot.
If this was just like salmon and white fish. Here we go, chef.
I'm gonna call it. I
And
think
you
it's a bit
make
washed.
they act like they didn't make it. It gotta taste good. They made it.
They're the chefs, right?
I wouldn't cook or eat it again.
Yeah, I wouldn't finish it either.
Yeah.
Oh.
You stargazy pie.
Oh, okay. So they're not doing it in order. They're just okay. I like that. Okay, because I thought we're gonna
Wow.
start with the best. Because then
Yeah.
you start with the best after like the B level. Okay, turn the video off. I don't want to see it anymore. Okay, F. Oh, I can respect the rating because
Yeah.
it looked interesting, but in my heart I felt like I don't know how it would taste.
The nation's favourite. Origin
What's
of this
unique
dish
dish for
is
sure?
still unclear. Now, it's said to have either come from Lancashire, funnily enough, or London. So the first thing we're going to do is
Fish and chip, I think, is an A tier. It's a solid. It's not S tier because it's not like majestic, but it's just a solid fast food, I think.
just get our chips going. So next we're going to work on our batter for the
I think I
fish,
put it
baking
S 'cause
powder,
it's so
a little bit of turmeric for
iconic.
colour,
I haven't even
plain
tried
flour,
it
rice
and I
flour,
like it.
Well, just because you haven't tried it, you can't judge it. How do you know it's S?
It looks good.
Okay, I mean you're entitled to it. To me, it's an A tier.
You tried it, so
yeah.
you know.
It's
AT.
good, but it's
You
not
like-
something where like, oh my
You never
god, I
crave
want to
for
go
it?
back to London to eat fish and chips. No,
Really?
no.
So what would you go back to London for?
I don't know about London, but to Lithuania, I'd go to kebab. S tier.
See, that's okay. Okay,
S
I
tier.
get you. I
that's it.
understand.
For the
I
liquids, we have
understand
some
you.
beer, and we have some sparkling water. So we're just going to whisk this together to form a nice smooth batter. Some of the earliest adaptations of it we found were around about 1840s. Fried fish used to be sold on the streets of London. But back then, the first iterations used to be served with bread rather than the chips like we see today, and later on in the 1800s. So while our chips are frying, we've got our fish here. We're just going to coat the fish in a little bit of seasoned flour before we enter it into the batter. So this fish we have here is just a nice bit of cod. So our chips. So we've got our fish here. Our oil's on temp, so we're about 175 on the oil temp. First shop that combined the fish with the chips, because obviously there was shops selling just.
Yeah. So what's interesting is they cook it together. The fish and chips, it cooks together in the same oil.
What's wrong with that?
No, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, I think that kind of the fries absorb a little bit of the fish taste. So it enhances the fries. It's not just the regular fries. It's that, you know.
Said to be in Bow, East London.
You know,
around
some people have a problem with that because
I don't.
if they're like, what do you call it, maybe vegan, vegetarian, they don't like that you cooking
If you're
animal
vegetarian,
with
why are
the
you eating?
potato.
Why are you eating fish and chips?
No, but you want just chips. You go with your friends. I would just only eat the chips. I'm vegetarian, vegan. And then,
I
oh
mean-
my god, this was fried with
Yeah.
an animal. So the taste.
You have a point, but I don't know. I don't even
I
know
think
what to
most
tell you.
places, most places, I don't think if you're vegan, vegetarian, it's
Yeah.
best not to eat.
Yeah, I think just don't eat. Either
Yeah.
don't ask or don't eat. Because
You say if you don't know,
if you
it
don't
doesn't
know,
hurt
it
you.
doesn't count. Yeah, right. If you don't
That's
know,
funny.
it doesn't count.
About 1860.
Oh, these look really good. They're fried to perfection.
Mushy
This
peas,
looks so
soy
good
sauce?
to me.
It's a solid, strong A.
What are these chips as well? Are these triple cooked chips? That's not traditional.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, so good.
Like screaming out for a few peas and a bit of tartar sauce. As it stands, it's lacking something.
No, it's got to be an A, that.
Some
I think it's not finished
peas.
without the garnishes.
What do you want to go then? B? Seems a bit hard.
It needs
No,
tartar
if you're not
sauce.
sure though, I don't want to. B plus.
B plus.
B plus, room for improvement.
Oh,
It would
wow.
be really hard to do the best of British without talking
Scouse or
about
scouse.
a really important part of the UK, which is Liverpool. Scouse is very much
Scouse.
their kind of regional dish. I'm going to be super honest, I don't really like scouse that much. My grandma and my mum are all from Liverpool, and they would cook it for me, and it was perfectly nice. I didn't say that when I was younger, obviously. I didn't have a clue what I was on about, but I just wolf it down. But on reflection, having cooked it a few times since, it's not my, it's nothing crazy. Lobscouse is a Scandinavian term, and there's lots of different variations of a similar dish in either Germany all the way through to Scandinavia. Liverpool is an incredibly important port. The reason that we call people Scousers now is because of this dish. It's got a lot of parallels between something like an Irish stew, and there was a lot of Irish immigrants coming over. I think in the poorer parts of Liverpool as well, they wouldn't even have scouse, they would have blind scouse, which was a variation which basically didn't even contain meat. This is mutton shoulder, which has been diced, seared off in a pan. I remember watching an Action Bronson video where he came and ate, ate a big bowl of scouse on foot. That's delicious. And I don't know, he just looked a little bit disappointed, to be honest. And he's just like, kind of like a stew, man. No wine, no frills, nothing crazy, just sweat off vegetables. Then we're going to add our raisin liquid with our meat and cook it
Yeah, it
all
looks
down.
like a
Okay, so this
stew
is nice and
with,
roasted now. We've got a little bit of
probably
colour on the
like
vegetables, but not too much.
lobster.
Whack
Is
in
it
our
lobster?
lamb.
Oh,
Potatoes have
oh,
just
meat.
started to break down, so it's giving it that really
Okay.
nice thickness to the sauce. So this is a lamb neck. So
Not
obviously
bad.
quite
Lamb neck with veg. I don't know, like a B should be solid,
Yeah.
full hearty meal. I mean,
I don't know. I never tried this meat before to really tell you.
I would probably give it a B. So not something again I would like go crave for, but I could eat it. It's a B.
a gelatinous cut. Lots of different muscle running through it. Traditionally, you would eat this with something like red cabbage, pickled beetroots, or something like
Like
that.
dumpling,
which would
that
probably
with
make-
some dumplings,
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think dumplings is also an added optional that a lot
Solid.
of
Solid cookery from the northwest.
a lot of Liverpoolians would like.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know
stuff,
these
lad.
chefs.
Not bad. I think it's
You don't
solid
watch them, I
cooking. Like,
guess.
it lacks a bit, yeah. A couple of little tweaks, it'd be epic.
I think it's lacking like a bit of freshness, like fresh
Indeed.
vegetables, intensity.
C plus.
C plus.
Pie, mash, jelly deals.
So they're a little bit more rigid than I am. They're like everyone
Yeah,
one
and
behind.
Like, it's. I don't think we're gonna get an S.
Blood. We've got
Nah, we're gonna get an S. It's gonna
You
be
think
an
so?
S.
our
Yeah.
pies here. In here, we've got our minced beef caramelised down with carrots, onion, and beef stock. Lined our mould with the short crust pastry, which has a little bit of lard in it as well. Our
Which
pies are
meat
glazed.
they
We're now going to
use?
bake these in an oven, set
Beef,
at
they said.
165, until we have a beautiful golden pastry. In the Victorian era, the city became a more desirable place to live. The rich people moved back to the city, pushing the locals east. So the locals couldn't afford to eat in what they used to call up west. And that's where the pie started to come into fashion as a way of using the cheaper cuts of meat. So it was predominantly made from minced beef. Workers were working long hours. They didn't have time to go home and start making pie. So the evolution of the pie shop came about, where all the workers could go and get a wholesome meal of potatoes, sauce, jelly deals, and their pie readily made for them. So this is a liquor sauce. So pie mash and liquor as the dish is. So in here we just have, it's a chicken stock with butter and flour. Around the same time the pie mash shops came about, the Thames was heavily, heavily polluted. And the eel was actually one of the only fish that could survive in the polluted water of the Thames. So hence why it became a staple of the
This is
London diet.
an F.
So we've got our lovely pie there on the plate. No British meal would be complete without the humble potato. Britain.
No, so what's the meal we're judging here? Because the
No.
the pie with mashed potatoes, that looks cute.
I felt like we were doing
gelatin,
pie and
though?
then throw a curveball.
That
Oh, no.
little curveball, that's an F. Disgusting. This
You
one,
tried something similar to that. You don't remember? but
Gross.
but yours, the way to
Meat.
make it is
It's
meat
meat,
and
it's
with
meat. It's not
vegetables,
fish,
some
it's
peas and carrots.
it's meat. The gelatin thing is disgusting.
Whoa.
But this looks good. This looks like a C, B tier.
On a
B
plate.
to C.
Oh my god, it's so firm. Oh, it's full of bones.
How do you eat it?
Oh, that's rank. That is awful.
So
Maybe you put it on a hot pie.
No.
Hey, get it on
okay, if it's all together, then it's F.
This is F.
there.
F, 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 F.
Actually, it's a bit fishy.
I don't know anyone who eats
Actually,
this. I haven't seen
Old
that.
people.
I haven't seen that.
This pie looks absolutely superb. Good job, chef.
Hey, that's right.
No, the pie looks good, but
Oh, it's actually banging.
That is delicious. Thing is, I'm gonna give it 2 ratings.
wait. So
A. If you add that, C.
It's A.
Yeah, I mean, we have to look at it as a whole, chef. And we have to be impartial. There's fucking bones.
Oh, it's not too bad. I just cover it in jelly instead.
It's actually fucking disgusting. Look at that. B
it is
altogether.
disgusting.
It's a B minus.
Hey, B's a B.
Nah.
Where they
it's
put
a
that?
F.
No.
What they did, they averaged it out. F and A. To me, if one is F, the whole dish is F. I don't care.
This is Lancashire Hot Pot from Lancashire, which is my home county, northwest of England, so just north of Manchester is where I'm from. But this dish comes from the entirety of Lancashire. And in order to prepare this, what we did was we sweated off some onions, carrots, a few turnips. We braised
See,
some
we
lamb.
started off
You can use
pretty
mutton; it's
good.
traditional, but also lamb
What's
works
the
as well.
curve?
Then we got some
what's
shanks,
the catch?
braised those too.
This looks like a
And
solid
then we
meal
layered
once
some
again, like a B.
potatoes, and then just cooked them in a nice hot oven
What's
with a
the
little bit
catch?
of butter on
That was
top.
good. I don't think
And
there's
what
a
you end up
catch.
getting is this. It's cooked at 160 for about 40
that looks
minutes.
good.
Sumptuous like layer of potatoes
Wow.
with a cooked lamb underneath. I'm obviously a little bit biased, but this is genuinely what I grew up eating. We're going to put this back into the oven at 160
What's that
degrees
in the
just to finish the
middle?
cooking.
The
It should
bone.
come out beautiful, crisp, golden all
So
over, and it's honestly
the
one of the
meat is
most
on the bone.
comforting and beautiful dishes.
Oh.
The name actually comes from the word hodgepodge in the Old English, but as we know, the French pot au feu, which has similar ingredients, sort of became a mixture of the two and turned into Lancashire hot pot. Basically means you can chuck in anything you want and it'll basically be delicious. So back into the oven just to finish off the cooking process. Right, so this is what we're looking for: perfectly sliced, crispy potatoes. So traditionally, always made with lamb or mutton.
Lamb fat sort of makes almost like a thicker sauce. It's delicious.
It's very similar to like a pomme boulangère, like the French version, right? But just probably a little bit heartier and a little bit meatier. Like the
That's what I
potatoes
think.
not the focus, the meat.
That's the question I'm asking myself. Why isn't it?
Let's go for it, chef. A for Lancashire.
Yeah, go on.
I've done the Northwest proud.
Really good.
Anglesey eggs.
I'm
We are
surprised
now
they
in
give
North
them
Wales.
higher, but I wonder what they're gonna
How
give.
did they give it A? No.
No, but the S is the highest.
Oh,
So what's an S? What was
Some
missing?
sort of-
What was missing for it to be an S? That's
I
what
think
I'm
some sort of
wondering.
dessert.
On the island of Anglesey.
think so,
And we have a
dessert.
strange dish for you here. So we're going to start off
Shepherd's
with a humble
pie.
potato.
But that's not
and
a
we have
dessert, but-
eggs. We have some leeks, which is a vegetable which is very, very Welsh. It's the national vegetable of Wales. So we're just going to peel these quickly. So these have been blanched and cooled. The water going in between those layers is going to help you remove the shell of the egg. So strangely enough, on the island of Anglesey, there was an ancient tradition where children who lived on the island would go from street to street, clapping from door to door. And then in reward for their clapping, they would receive eggs, which would then be taken home and take pride of place, basically, in their homes. To top the eggs and the leeks, we have is covered with a cheese sauce. So we've just got a bechamel, which we're just going to warm through there before we add our cheese. So we're just going to scatter our leeks all over our potato base. So we're just going to take our soft-boiled eggs
Oh,
And
this
lay
is
them
really
out.
soft.
nicely, remembering that you eat with your
Have
eyes
you ever
first.
tried it?
Why is it orange?
Okay, so we've got a
It's always orange. Have you tried it?
Not soft.
You should try this. Pretty good.
bechamel
What
warm
they say
through.
has-
No, I like it. I prefer it over hard boiled. Just nicer consistency. Hard boiled is like very dry.
Next, we're going to go in
No,
with our
if you do
cheese.
it right, it's
Generous.
good
So we're just
consistency.
going to cover the dish now in cheese sauce.
It's
Okay,
soft.
sexy eggs.
I prefer the soft boiled.
Going
This
sexy
is not even soft. This is wet.
just to glaze out
Yeah.
nicely.
That's nice.
And here we have it.
This looks interesting. This might be an S tier.
A.
Just because you made it.
An A.
I like the leeks, they add a bit of freshness. I like the eggs, they add a bit of richness.
It's-
I like the cheese
It's
sauce.
the one I
like
thought
the
was going to be
Tastes
the
like
worst.
a breakfast.
And it's actually perfectly fine.
It's nothing to write over that, let's be honest. It's exactly what you think it's going to taste like. There's no surprises there. See?
See.
See?
Pork pie.
We went from
A dish
A to
that's-
C.
Comes from Leicestershire. So Leicestershire is in the
Ooh,
East
they're
Midlands.
tough.
This is actually one of the only dishes in the UK that's got protected DOM status. This will never be an actual authentic Melton Mowbray pie because in order to be so, it has to be made in Melton Mowbray or within 25 kilometres of Melton Mowbray. Originally, this dish actually comes from the tradition of fox hunting. So this being a very easy food to put into a travel bag or satchel whilst you're chasing foxes across the countryside. So this is an aspic or a jelly. So obviously traditional in like pâté en croûte, French cookery as well, but really important for this because you pour this into the hole and then you can preserve the pie for probably a good amount of time, to be quite honest, in the pastry place. And you traditionally would use, you can buy almost like a pie tamper which goes in there and you press it all around. It's a nice water pastry which contains lard as well. Leicestershire is actually well known, it's quite a flat county. It's well known to have a lot of pigs. The fat from that pork goes into the pastry and some of the moisture escapes into the meat. Place your lid on. Impressions with a fork just to finish off the sealing of that lid. So one nice big hole. And this is going to allow us to pour the aspic in. Quite important that the aspic goes in hot. This will bake at 160. Aspic will go in as it's cooling down.
What? Aspic? What is that? No. In the middle. I wonder what that is in the middle.
Until it's cooled all the way down. And then you can even top up with another layer of aspic until you'll get this.
Another layer of aspic.
Crust. Pork pie.
Nothing. I think that was just a boil.
Oh, we saw. Oh, boil. We saw something. Rosie tried something like this. It's just meat and then the breading.
Yeah, I think so.
If you wanted to say to someone coming to the UK for the first time, this is the best of British.
I mean, it doesn't get any better.
I think this is what British food's all about. I actually do. This is what we're known for.
It looks like an A to me.
People across the pond,
It
British
does
food
look
ain't
quite
worth- ain't worth nothing.
plain.
I think it's
Until
plain
you get
but
a fresh
good.
pork pie like that. It's an A.
No.
It's an A. With a condiment, it might even be an S, but this is an A. Solid A.
With a
Okay,
condiment.
next
it'll
up
be
we have a
less.
Cumberland sausage. This sausage is famed for its shape. So this sausage is obviously it's made in Cumbria, in the northwest of England. So in our sausage we have black
Cumbria sounds
peppercorn,
like Italy.
mace. It's the actual only sausage in the UK which has a PGI status, meaning it has to be made in Cumbria or the local areas, and also has to have a minimum of 80% meat content. However, more often than not, it's usually as high as around 95.
Minimal 80% meat content. So what is the rest?
Oh no.
The fuck they put in there?
Yeah.
Maybe like a potato,
Okay.
bread.
I mean, as long as it's foods and not.
German miners settled in Cumbria. The thought of the Cumberland sausage is that it was a creation of theirs, as they wanted to recreate the bratwurst style, thick, meaty, juicy sausages of Germany when they came over to this country to assist on the mining works around Cumbria. We're going to serve this with another serving of mashed potato, the nation's
this to
favourite.
me, the
What we got
potato
here?
look like overdone because it looked like very gummy.
Nah, potato looks good. I like it.
It looked overdone.
Nah, it looks
Good night,
good.
chef.
I got Gruffy's big,
That's a perfect
juicy
mashed
sausage.
potato right there.
No,
Why is it so
it's
curly?
overdone.
Beautiful British mashed potato, Cumberland sausage,
It looks like you could
and the
drink
nation's
it.
favourite,
No, it looked like a
onion
Play-Doh.
gravy.
It
think
looked like
this
you
is probably-
cannot drink it. It
You
looked
could-
like a
you could
Play-Doh.
slurp it.
You could
You could slurp
do
it.
some molding with it.
No, you could slurp it.
It looked gummy.
One of the most archetypal British dishes.
I mean, we've done a few.
Pint of ale. Cold day.
Yeah,
Countryside
onion.
pub. Cumbria's finest coiled sausage with a bit of mashed potato, onion gravy. What's better than that? What is better than that?
No, it's good, it's good, it's good. Is it better than hot pot?
That's what the rating system for, isn't it?
No, that's what I'm asking myself.
Ah, okay. I'm gonna go for A, and it's actually an A
And
plus.
it
no,
looked
I
plain.
think it's got to be big.
B. It's got to be a B plus.
I think it's on par with the fish. It's not quite got as much flavour and skill as the Lancashire hot pot. I'd be happy with the B, chef.
B plus.
Okay,
Right. This is the
I'm
one you've all been
not mad
waiting for.
A,
Chicken tikka
S,
mo
S,
salah,
S, S, S,
otherwise
S.
known as, if you're not a
S,
Liverpool fan,
S,
chicken
S,
tikka masala.
S, S.
India has had a massive influence
I
on
guess-
British
It's
food.
S. It's S. It's
British
S.
has
Okay,
adopted
no.
some foreign foods
No.
too.
Yeah.
My certain go-to
It's now a
takeaway is
British
always
dish. That's crazy.
Indian. This particular dish is
No,
comes
but
from a
that's
chef.
what they said. Yeah, they said that it's not actually an Indian. It's a British Indian dish. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
'cause they do have a large Indian population. They kind of like
Oh.
invented it in Britain.
In Britain.
from Glasgow, who's a Glaswegian chef with Pakistani heritage. This is Wetherspoon's most popular dish. Wetherspoon's, the American audience, is a fantastic place, steeped in local tradition, and it also does pints for about £1.90. We actually marinated our chicken the day before in some yogurt and spices, cooked it off over a flame grilled, some more ginger. We've got some garlic cloves here as well. Ground coriander. This is garam masala, some turmeric, and some Kashmiri chili powder. So legend has it that someone
Lately, I have learned some car accident injury victims have been getting below-value settlement offers from insurance companies right after
ordered a chicken tikka, which is usually served dry, and that when it arrived, they complained, they said it was too dry, and the chef in question, added a load of tandoori sauce to it, and then the legend was born, which is basically just tandoori chicken pieces which has been grilled off and then added to a really nice rich sauce. So once you've got that spice blend, what's really important is that you get these onions to the consistency of being really, really nice and caramelized. Once that happens, we're going to add our paste, add our chicken, bit of tomato puree, coconut milk, and cook it down. Okay, so now we've got to this stage, our onions are really nicely caramelized. We're just going to add a small amount of tomato puree in there. Add in your spice mix. Okay, and then that's cooked down for about 3 to 4 minutes. Then chicken goes in. I add a little bit of chicken stock.
You know, the meat looks like shashlikas, the way it's cooked, because it has like a hole in the middle, so it looks like a shashlikas.
That'll be it. So,
seasoning looks different, but the principle is the same.
Cooked down for 2 hours. We've got that beautiful tender chicken, a little bit of cream, a few sprigs of coriander.
It's pretty special.
It's banging, isn't it? Have we reached S tier, do you reckon?
I think
They have it as fries, but it's just by itself.
Best of British
By itself.
is an Indian/Pakistan dish from Glasgow.
creamy, it's fragrant, it's spicy, it's buttery, it's rich.
S status.
You've got to try it.
Yay!
Next up, we've got chicken parmo from Middlesbrough,
That's
the northeast
British
of England.
too,
So what we
chicken
have here is we have
parmo?
a chicken breast. We battened it out with a mallet. You're into some flour, then into some egg, which has been beaten with a fork so it's nice and fine.
Because
And
I'm
then
assuming it's
finally
going to be like
into some
chicken
breadcrumbs.
parmesan.
And we're just going to
That's
fry
what
that
I
so it's
thought.
beautiful and golden brown on both sides. This dish originates from around about 1960 with a Greek-American naval chef. And he basically opened like an American grill-style restaurant where he served this dish, and then it became the region became famous for it. It's not a dish that you'd usually cook at home, but it's sort of like a big dish you'd find on all the takeaway menus around Middlesbrough and the northeast. So once the chicken's cooked, it's going to come out of the fryer onto our paper to dry. It originated from chicken parmesan, which is obviously the chicken with mozzarella, tomato
Yeah.
sauce, and parmesan. Whereas this version, a little bit more refined, shall we say? It consists of breaded chicken, white cheese sauce, and then red Leicester cheese. Humble selection of ingredients. So to our white sauce, we've got some cheddar
So it looks like a simpler version of chicken parmesan, I guess.
here. We're just going to melt that very slowly. A little bit of red Leicester in there as well. So we're going to cover our lovely, healthy chicken breast with our sauce. Just a light dousing, you know, a casual Monday night dinner. And then for a little bit of freshness, we like to just go with a little sprinkling of red Leicester. And then we would place it underneath our grill, but we don't
I think the local cheese, like Leicester red cheese or something like that, he said.
have one.
I tried this one before.
Oh, and he.
There we have it. If Carlsberg did
Toasted?
dinners,
My first chicken parma. Never tried it before.
carve it table size, you know, for a little bit of elegance.
There's no way this shouldn't be delicious.
Yeah.
This should be
My heart's not looking
delicious.
forward to this one.
Too
I
intense,
think
too
A
cheesy,
or
too
S.
much. Just
E.
too much.
Oh.
E.
Grease City.
Okay, so next dish.
Too much
Wow.
cheese.
Too
Too much
cheesy.
cheese.
Oh, why they
And
put so
why
much
did it
cheese?
look like that?
Yeah, they put so much
They
cheese.
put-
Fair
they
bit.
put
Although
it-
it's now considered probably the national dish of Wales, it turns out it's not actually invented by the Welsh. I think the English invented it to take the piss out of the Welsh. So Wales is on the very west of the country. It kind of borders the Irish Sea. It was actually a joke that the English were making about the Welsh. The Welsh thought that they were eating rabbit. So in here is just a bechamel, which is made with brown ale. We use a Newcastle brown ale, but they would use a Welsh brown ale. And then we put a little bit of mustard in there, and I've just finished that with a little bit of Liam Perrins, and we put a little bit more on top. You need to use like quite a nice sharp cheddar for this. Okay, so we've got our toast here, and then we're going to layer on this beautiful bechamel. It doesn't matter if a little bit sort of cascades over the side. And just go on with a really good hit of cheddar. This is a Montgomery cheddar, so nice and acidic, but quite strong.
Well, it looks like it's gonna be a
Of,
toasted
Liam
sandwich.
Perrins Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, but
It's a
if
very,
they
very
complain
common, but
about
very,
cheese,
very
why they put
British
so much
condiment.
cheese?
I don't
And for all
know.
you Americans out there, it's Worcestershire, not
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
One just
Worcestershire.
star shine. One just shush.
Not Worcestershire. So I'm going to bake this in the oven and then just finish it underneath the grill. Welsh rarebit.
Can
It's
you
like a
say
boozy croque monsieur.
Worcestershire?
It's simple.
I think.
This is not
Simple
Worcestershire.
I think that hinders the score for us.
Worcestershire, I
C
think.
plus.
I think it's much better than Stargazy pie. It's on a level with pie and mash. I think we go C.
It's too
Steak.
cheesy.
Suet pudding.
Too cheesy.
Where I come from up north, this is traditionally in a chippy, so you'd have a steamed steak and kidney pudding. But originally this dish actually comes from Sussex, they believe. Suet pudding is animal fat.
Sussex.
You have places called knackers yards where people would take bones and animal fat, and it would be a cheaper source of fat and cooking protein rather than butter. So you don't want to make it too thin. The thickness of £2 coins put together. Suet pastry is incredibly resilient. Quite a versatile recipe. You can kind of, you can kind of be a bit flexible with what you've got. The most important thing is that suet pastry. So just trimming off the excess now around the top. So our filling is a mixture of beef, which has been really nicely braised. Got a few carrots in
they
there.
like a lot of these like pies with or like
Yeah.
bread filled with meat, like a lot. This is like what fourth dish like that, fourth dish like that.
And a few turnips. And we've cooked it until it's like almost...
Like when you think of pie here in the States, you think of sweet.
Yes,
Here,
pie.
like, pies are.
Savory.
It's falling apart, but not quite. It's going to be super decadent, really nice and tender. 100% it's a love it or hate it thing, but I think if you grow up eating suet pudding, it's a very comforting dish. And then what you want to do is almost like fuse it to the bottom half, finalise that creme on the outside. We've got this nice lid that goes on top, and then that's going to cook inside the pot for about 45 minutes until the pastry is perfectly
In a
cooked.
water bath.
Lightly sort of risen up in the mould. So flip it over, moment of truth.
I never seen that.
Yeah, the only thing I ever cooked in the water bath was the petit choux.
One
No,
tap, just for look.
No?
the flan.
Oh, flan too. Yeah, flan.
Petit choux too?
Yeah, petit choux has to cook a little bit in the water bath.
Oh.
The milk, I think.
Oh! Look at that bad boy. Nicely held its shape, and what we're going to do is
That's
just cover
cool.
that in a beautiful bit of gravy.
Looks almost glazed.
Yeah,
The glaze
that's,
on.
that's that beautiful gravy, mate.
Get some more on there.
Oh! Oh!
Suet pastry is a lovely thing, but it
What
doesn't
she
know
said,
I've had like
too
years
much
on suet
gravy.
pie. Yeah, I mean, a suet pudding it's a delicious, really fucking great quality British dish. Just because it's not to my taste, you know, I feel like it deserves more than a C.
Oh no, I think it's got B status, 100%.
Really, signed off.
B!
Last but not least, my personal favourite, the roast dinner. So the roast dinner, originating from, some say, Yorkshire, was eaten usually on Sundays after church. Traditionally, you always have roast potatoes. We've got here some lovely cabbage and some red cabbage. So usually humble ingredients, nothing too fancy on a roast dinner, but it's all sort of just cooked simply. But the beauty of the dish is when they're all had together. Yorkshire, north of England. In the 18th century, when this dish first came about, they would serve the Yorkshire pudding as a starter, filled with gravy, as a way of filling up the diners before they got to the main event of the beef, so they would eat less beef. Roast dinners can feature any number of different meats. You know, most common
that's
ones
very
around the country now would be pork belly. You'd have ribeye, sometimes rump, or even you can do it on more of a budget, and they would do sort of top side of beef or thin cuts like that. Pork belly, leg of lamb, chicken, you name it, we fucking roasted it.
It's
Or actually-
interesting to see mid-season after.
Honey, I'm home.
This is actually the most popular dish in all of our restaurants.
Yeah.
And I would say probably around most restaurants around the UK.
Can you think of
Oh, so they're like actual restaurant owners. That's interesting. Okay.
anything better than having a nice bottle of red wine on a Sunday? Tucking into
Then
a
that
nice
should
roast
be
dinner.
S,
Hard
no?
to get everything right. Sunday is best food, best day.
Yeah, I mean,
Smash
yeah, it's an S for Sundays, but it would be a D on every other day.
S status, up there with the best. Superstar status.
Okay.
Sunday roast.
They gave it a miss. Okay.
Yeah.
Stargazy, let's not even go there.
We've eaten our way around the British styles.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Alright,
We have 2 dishes in the S class.
Yeah, so there was no desserts. I kind of thought we would see like a dessert or something, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess this was just the mains.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, cool.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.